Hello, I'm Daniela. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to stitch a fabric tag with the snowman as the focus. I used 2 buttons to make this snowman, so it's pretty simple. But depending on the color of the buttons you use, you'll get a different effect. You can go traditional, you can go modern, and you can go rustic. I'm sure there's other variations as well. So let's get started.
So here's an example of the tag we're going to make. It's a traditional snowman. It's got the smaller snowball for the head, the bigger for the body, a little scarf, a hat, a tab here, and then some slow stitching elements. I added some trim, some stitches, a little collage element here. I left the edges raw. You can turn those over if you like. And that's the back. If I wanted to make this finished, I'd put a little piece of felt on the back. So let's get started. There's no reason you have to make it traditional colors. I'll show you some variations at the end of the video, but for today's video, we're going to make it a little bit mid-century modern. So the first thing I want to do is choose my buttons for my snowman, and that will dictate the size of the little tag I make. Now I can make the tag larger than the snowman, but for this purpose, I wanted to just showcase that little snowman. So I'm going to choose 2 of the buttons. I choose a smaller one and a larger one. I pulled out my teal buttons, and then I have my fabric that I wanted to go with it, as well as some trim that I might use, and some darker fabric for the hat. I also have a little piece of a ribbon here for the scarf. So I really chose my colors carefully. You could play around with it however you like. First thing to do is to decide on the background after you have your buttons selected. So I'm going to use these buttons here, I think. I love that color scheme. So I'll set these aside, and then I'll play around making the back of that collage tag. These ribbons I can either use in the tab up top or as scarves or collage elements. So right now I want to focus of the background of the tag. So I have my piece here with my quilted fabric as the background. I'll just quickly stitch it down into place. Here it is stitched down. I added a few little decorative stitches to hold the little swatch here in place. And now I'm ready to start building my snowman. So I just decide where I want him to go on the piece. I kind of like him a little bit off center. And then I want to cut out the hat. I can use the black or I can use the gray. I think the gray adds too many patterns. So I'll just cut a little shape for the hat, and then stitch that down. So I have a big rectangle of fabric, and now I'll make that kind of stovepipe hat. And so that's not the right size, but that's the shape, and now I can just play around trimming it down to size. So that's really cute. Now after I stitch this down, I'm going to want to play around with the scarf and then adding accessories. So I'll stitch these down, leaving a little bit of space between the head and the torso here. So I stitched down the buttons, I've got the hat on, and now I just want to finish up the piece. If there are any accessories I want to add, as well as the scarf. So I think that scarf's going to look adorable. I'll stitch it in there in between the head and the torso and trim these down. Now for the tab, I kind of tried some different things here, and I wasn't really crazy about them, but I did like this little red swatch of fabric, so I'll add that as a tab. And then I wanted something here to break this up, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of this trim there. I'll stitch it all down, and we'll take a look at it and look at some variations as well. And so there's my completed little snowman tag. I think it's adorable. I love the untraditional colors. Be great tucked inside my journal. So I wanted to show you some variations. We have the traditional one and another tag that's very traditional as well. The buttons here are mother of pearl, so they're kind of whitish. I have my little collage background with different stitches, some thin, some thick, metallic. I've got my little scarf, and instead of cutting the hat from fabric, I just stitched it with a back and forth stitch. So for some untraditional colors, I made like a primitive snowman. I have a little snip of leather for the hat, some wooden buttons, a little rickrack scarf, a tag that says Christmas, a little tab up top, And then I have one more, which I think is so cute. It's a little mini snowman with brown buttons, another leather little hat. I love the little background here from this fabric. It's so rustic and woodland themed. So there's so many ways you can go creating this snowman tag with buttons and ribbons and trims and just so many possibilities.
So that's how I create my snowman fabric tag. This is great to tuck in my journal, but it also makes nice ornaments for the tree or a little extra to tuck on a gift as a gift tag. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please check out some other videos that I made using fabric for Christmas ornaments and Christmas extras for your fabric journals. Thanks for joining me today.